And hello, we're live. How's it going, Shawn? How's it going, everyone?
Hey guys, hey Chris. This podcast does not have a name. Episode 17 for January 26th, 2022. Hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah, I hope
Um,
so. Things are maybe a little better or still a bit rocky from last week. The PC wouldn't start up, but
yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. We kind of had to skip a week because of technical difficulties. That kind of sucks when it happens. Not really much you can do, but yeah, from what you told me, Chris, you kind of gave the whole 9 yards, and you still don't know what exactly the problem was. That kind of sucks.
nope, it happens like once a year. I don't know why. What happens? But yeah, whatever. It happens.
So I know you probably won't have a problem with this, Chris, but I want to kind of dedicate this episode to Mandy. She was in the ER over the weekend, so yeah, that's I really my heart goes out to her. So just wanted to say, we're thinking about you. So
Yeah,
that's about it.
I hope you're doing well. Hope it went all right. I don't know if it's already happened or if you're still waiting, but take care of yourself. Stay safe. Hope you're good.
She- Yeah, she is my co-host for our Trash Talk Tuesdays, and also she's a very very close and dear friend of mine. So I just wanted to give her some props. So anywho, let's start with what we've been up to, Chris. I'll let you go first. Last 2 weeks now instead of last week. So, what have you been
Uh,
up to besides trying to fix your PC?
well, besides just trying to get that all up and running, uh, what have I done? Uh, I haven't really watched much Sentai, but I watched a few more Fist of the North Star. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love how violent slash not violent the show is, but like the first 5 or 6 episodes, Kenshiro was like taking down, I guess, the henchman of, is it King? This guy who stole his girlfriend Yuria. And I'm like, okay, so we're gonna get some good fights between these guys. And the fights are like less than a minute long. Like, oh, so these guys were just nothing compared to him. Like, no one stand is compared to Kenshiro in his fight, except for maybe King and some of the other guys like who know the South Star or North Star fighting styles. Even though these guys he's fought apparently were trained in like the Fist of the South Star kind of training, but they're nothing compared to Kenshiro, who's a fucking god apparently.
See, I never knew up until now that the North Star was a fighting style until you just told me like South Star fighting style and all this other stuff. I'm like, oh, so
In
that's what the whole is called. The
Yes,
North Star
that's
fighting style.
the Fist of the North Star kind of whatever fighting style. That's he apparently is the only successor to, but the South Star can have multiple forms and multiple successors. Like, yeah, okay, I guess they wanted to make it villain. So, and they want to drag it out longer than it needs to be. But I'm loving the show. And I don't remember if I mentioned on the last podcast if I had it beat by then. I beat RE0.
Uh, yeah, I don't. I think did you mention it last couple of weeks? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but I'll just say that if I didn't, I don't understand that story as in why the bad guy was trying to kill uh, Rebecca and the other guy, whatever his name is, hot dude with tattoo. Like, why? Because the whole thing is you're going through the game like normal RE thing. You end up in strange places, zombies, and then you find out the plot of what's going on. And the plot of this one was that uh, the two guys that created Umbrella, the one was working on, he created the T virus, and his buddy Birkin backstabbed him and killed him for the T virus, and Birkin then, as you find out in RE1 and 2, I believe, modify that into the G virus. But anyway, the guy who was killed wants revenge. He turned himself into a creature, with his virus and wants to kill Birkin and destroy Umbrella. Don't know what that has to do with your main characters because they get stuck in there the whole time. Like your characters never really see this guy the entire game. Don't really know his name until near the end of the game. And then he shows up and goes, "I'm going to get my revenge, and you two will not escape." Like, what? Why? We're trying to also take down Umbrella, or will be as soon as we are out of here. And then he tries to kill you. And during the last, like, the escape sequence, kind of what's in a lot of RE games, he mutates and starts chasing them up a ramp. And the guy that's your partner there says, uh, "Oh no, here comes the queen. We need to get ready." I'm like, when did this thing ever get called Queen or the Queen? You're just making up names for this thing now? Like, stuff like that. None of this shit makes sense. Why are we having to run away and escape from this thing? The other games, it made sense. They're actively trying to stop you from spreading information about Umbrella and what they're doing. This game, it makes no sense. He seems like a rogue thing that doesn't understand what it's doing anymore. So the end of the game just felt really shitty because it had nothing to do with your characters or them trying to stop you from spreading out information. If anything, you getting out would help his cause because it would help the downfall of Umbrella, right?
I guess that's kind of because this zero was made after 1, 2, and 3. So I retcon is not the right word, but they're almost trying to like insert part of the story and like kind of try and make everything click together with that
Yeah,
part. So it seems like it
it,
was like very they did. I'm not kind of blaming or defending them, but it kind of seems like they did the best with what they could and what they could squeeze in.
that's how.
It sounds
Yeah,
like.
that's pretty much how it feels. And I remember that feeling like that when I played the game, but still, it's like, couldn't you have written it a little bit better where your characters were getting in his way or something so that he would have a personal reason to get them out of his way? But no, the entire thing was that he wants revenge on Wesker and Birkin, and our characters had nothing to do with the entire plot.
Hmm.
It just felt like, really filler to get Rebecca into the mansion, which is where she uh kind of the end of the game is them overlooking the mansion. And Rebecca's like, "Oh, I wonder what that is," and then she wanders off there. And Billy, that's his name, your partner Billy, goes, "Okay, well, I'm a wanted criminal, but I guess I'm out of here. See ya." And he just leaves. Like, okay, like, guess that was an okay game. Like,
Damn. I I honestly thought he would have, like, as I said in the last episode of the podcast. I honestly like I didn't really want to hear that because of spoilers,
oh,
but I thought he was gonna die, as I said in the last podcast, because we
spoilers,
don't ever see him again.
spoilers for almost a 20-year-old game.
I know. You're
but
right. You're not wrong, but still.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have no idea. I don't. As far as I know, he's not in any other game or mentioned. So,
Mhm.
or any of the movies. So,
He
well,
just pieced the fuck out of there.
I
He's like,
mean,
my job here is done, but he didn't do anything.
yeah,
that
he
that that one meme.
yeah, but the yeah, but yeah, it's all right. The only
And
reason why I like it is because Rebecca's in it. The rest of the
right,
game is kind
she's
of
your fave.
Rebecca. Sorry, not Rebecca. The rest of the game's kind of meh, especially the story near the end. So it's all right. And then I beat RE1, Jill and Chris's playthroughs, and now I'm on RE2. Man, does that game look crusty when you compare it to the RE1 remake on GameCube? Because this is the port, I think, of either the PlayStation or the N64 version. And wow,
Yeah.
you can definitely tell. Holy cow! It took me a
So
while to get used to the crusty textures of all the backgrounds.
seems like you're doing a Resident Evil marathon on Twitch, huh?
Yeah, at least so far. All the
Okay.
Resident Evil games that matter.
Yes, I knew you were gonna say something along those lines, but anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah, for two, you kind of mentioned this on your stream. I was there when you said this. that, oh wow, you can really tell what you can interact with versus what you can't, just because the graphics are either like very grainy or very like refined
Hmm.
or defined, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, you're right. But like I think on the original PlayStation version, it wasn't like that. Everything was grainy. But this game, they're like, oh, well, everything you can interact with, let's make
Yeah,
different for some
yeah,
reason. I don't know why they did that.
not quite everything, but yeah, like a lot of things do pop out, like ammo sitting on a desk. Like the rest of the desk is pretty grainy, but that bullet texture is definitely higher quality. And I'm not sure why that is, if that was a holdover from like the N64 or if on PlayStation that you just couldn't tell that well. I don't know for sure, but whatever. After a while, you just kind of forget about that. But man, RE2's pretty great. It's the
Yeah.
best one in the series, for me anyway. So
I mentioned this on your stream, but my first RE game was RE2 for the PlayStation 1. So that's how I discovered the franchise. And that's what made me fall in love with it. I'm not the biggest RE fan at all. I haven't played most of the games actually in the series, but I still enjoy it. And I don't know. I don't want to say for sure it was my first horror game, but I'm pretty sure it is.
yeah, probably the same thing for me. First horror game, I guess there wasn't really much out at the time. Mostly just Silent Hill and Resident Evil, which were still very early. And I didn't have a PlayStation, so I believe I played this originally on the N64. But yeah, it's really good. I don't know if I'm going to do both their A and B sides, but I'm definitely doing Leon's A and Jill's B. And then we'll see what happens after that. If I continue with, I don't know if it's 3 or Code Veronica after that, or if I'll swap over and do their alternates. We'll see. Uh, One thing I'm disappointed in with the RE1 remake, I don't know if in the new versions, if they redubbed stuff, but Barry doesn't have his lame jokes anymore in the games, as opposed to the original of Resident Evil. Like he doesn't call Jill the master of unlocking, or
Phew, you almost became a Jill sandwich.
yeah, they're changed. He says something along the lines of you should take this. You'll make more use of it when he hands her the lockpick, and the other one's like,
How how dare they change those classic voice lines?
and
Honestly.
the other line I think it was something like, if I'd have been a minute later, you'd have been flat enough to fit into a sandwich. Like
Oh,
that's not the
terrible.
same. That
No. We want our Master of Unlocking line. But give us back.
I don't know if in the new
We demand it.
versions if they redubbed or not. I have to look like the version on Steam or on the current console. So they might have like redubbed them, but I doubt it. Because those more seem like remasters of the GameCube version. Like, but I don't know. But they're good. That's pretty much it, really. I did that, and I guess I did watch the new season of Documental,
Never
which
heard of that.
it's a Amazon, yes, Amazon Prime video, like a Japanese, basically Japanese comedy battle royale in a way, hosted by Matsumoto, one of the two members of Downtown, a big, like, pretty big, what do you call it, Japanese comedy group. They do every year the You Laugh You Lose like 24-hour marathon thing with his
24
partner.
hour. Whoa.
Yeah, for 24 hours they are subjugated to like to a bunch of comedians and just anyone they can get on board to try and make them laugh, and when they laugh they get punished in various ways. It's a great end of the year thing. Yeah, but this documental is like a battle royale thing where Matsumoto tells them they gotta bring, I think it's 10,000 yen? Question mark? I don't remember exactly how much it was. And there's 10 competitors that are trying to each make themselves laugh. And if they make them laugh, I think they get two chances. If they laugh the second time, they're out of the game. So they lose their chance of winning all the money. It's a great kind of battle royale thing where everyone has to kind of subjugate themselves to everyone else's jokes and not laugh.
Okay.
It's worth checking out if you wanted to see something like that. I think it's good. I love Matsumoto, and a lot of the comedians he's been posting, or not posting, getting on the show are have been pretty great. There haven't really been too many duds in terms of the people he's gotten on board. So it's worth checking out. But yeah, that's it. It's all for me. And you?
Uh yeah, I was not looking forward to this part. So basically, I know it's been a couple of weeks since the last podcast, but yeah, my depression is just really it sucks because I can't enjoy things anymore. So I haven't really been playing any games or watching anything aside from YouTube videos. I've been trying to get into games. I've been trying to watch some movies, but just haven't been able to do anything. I haven't been able to really enjoy things. And yeah, so that's and I added on to the fact that I'm again I'm not trying to air my dirty laundry, but I did kind of uh, verbally hurt someone, and that kind of sucks. There's never an excuse for that. So I kind of felt regretful, and that I hurt the other person. I made them suffer. So yeah, that I've been having to live with that a little bit. The situation's better now. Don't worry, but yeah, it's still been going through a lot to say the least. So I have not been able to enjoy things, unfortunately. So I got nothing to say up this week about that.
Hmm. All right. Well, besides what has happened on there, you haven't really been able to do much. You're saying so.
No, I've been kind of just stuck in a slump. It sucks because like I have been trying to play games. It's just like I don't want to force myself either. So
Yeah, there's
it is what it is.
if you force yourself, you feel like me when I forced myself to watch Naruto Shippuden for that half a year
Well, to be fair,
or
the
a year.
spoilers did suck, but the core episodes were really good.
I hate
You see the
Naruto
third?
Shippuden.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
I
talking about.
absolutely hate that show. That show makes me hate the entire franchise. Any good that came out of the original Naruto series is tainted by Shippuden. I hate Shippuden so much. I hate it more than I hate Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball GT and Super combined.
Oh,
It is one of the worst things I watched and how they ruined certain characters.
I had no idea you felt that way
Yep,
about that show.
I think it is
Hmm.
awful.
Well, moving on. Nothing really to say about that.
No,
I
we'll leave it there.
I personally didn't. Well, I know there's some things you like that one at
Oh,
the
I
very end, that one fight
so
where
yes, so the only parts of the show that I say I actually like are the memes of the terrible animation of Naruto versus Pain. That is the greatest thing to come out of that entire show, and it's one of the things that I'll say more casual viewers will remember of that show more than the plot. I'm not talking about hardcore users or people who are not users, viewers slash big fans, right? So, but the most casual people will look at that and go, "Oh yeah, it's that show." So, but yeah,
well, we can move on.
yeah, we'll
If
go on.
you're good, Chris.
I think
So
we're good.
so yeah, this kind of came out last week, but it doesn't matter when it came out because Chris, I can say this with an extreme amount of confidence that this is probably the biggest news stories to have broken since we started the podcast, or even I'll go a step beyond that. It's probably one of the biggest stories in gaming that's happened in a very long while.
If you're
I think that's
talking
fair to say.
about the, if you're talking about like the biggest gaming buyout ever, then yes,
Yeah.
because we
So
did cover the recent one, and then this blows it out of the water. The last one, or the biggest one, was the Take Two, and no, I don't remember who it was. Who cares? If you don't know what we're talking about, apparently, well, not apparently, 'cause it is going through. Blizzard is being bought. Oh, not Blizzard. Technically, Activision Blizzard is being bought by Microsoft.
yeah, for I think the official
Six,
price was $68 billion US. Like
yeah,
holy
almost
shit.
close to 69. I think they
I
were
mean,
buying it for like 90 something dollars a share for what it was currently at the time. I believe is what I read, but still, like,
yeah, it's 68.7 billion. So that's the official number.
yes, thank you for
Wow.
correcting me.
Oh no, no, I wasn't correcting. I was
I,
just kind of
I
adding
was
on to what I
sure I
said.
was off. I think I went rounded up or down the wrong way. So either
Well,
way,
it's all good. It's all good. Anyways, holy shit! Like, if let's not even talk about gaming for a second. Microsoft is like one of the biggest companies, corporations, whatever in the world as is, so they can easily afford this and not having to blink an eye. But Jesus Christ, like, no, I think it's fair to say, because this is my initial reaction, and I kind of looked at, and this I think this is how everyone felt. I think it's fair to say that no one saw this coming. No one saw this coming.
yeah, I
This
don't
just happened
think
out of the
so.
blue. That's crazy. Holy shit.
Considering the letters we've been hearing passing around, through the different companies about Activision Blizzard, and then the statement by uh, Microsoft's what's his name? Ybarra? No, Ybarra's Activision Blizzard.
Yabaro was from Activision.
Yeah,
I think
sorry,
you're talking about Phil Spencer
I'm thinking
from
of Phil
Microsoft.
Spencer when we talked about him 2 or 3 weeks ago about his
Yeah.
kind of continued letters and such. So, but also going off of that, I don't think people saw this happening. So either like I don't see him not knowing this was going through, but you're not going to talk about or mention this until stuff is finalized, really, because
Hmm.
deals and that are being talked to through companies all the time. So you never know what's actually going to happen. You don't want to see stuff that isn't actually going to happen because kind of ruins things down the line or whatever, right? Anyway, this is huge. This makes them one of the biggest gaming companies in the world. Followed by, or two that are above them are Sony and who was it? Crap, I just had them in my head. The
Tencent.
Tencent, thank you. I
Hmm.
was gonna mention some of the companies they bought because I couldn't remember their names. But yeah, Tencent. So yeah, they're like third or in the top three next to those two. I don't know where they would be placed because recently Microsoft had bought what Blizzard or not well Blizzard, but recently they also had bought in like whom was it? Elder Scrolls.
Oh, Bethesda.
Bethesda, thank you. And some of the other
ZeniMax.
ZeniMax
ZeniMax.
and
Yeah.
like they bought a bunch of other companies as well recently too, so they've been on a kind of a spree like that too, ish in a way. So
Yeah, and from everything that I've researched, it seems like this is something that they always wanted to do, but this was the prime opportunity for them because obviously the share prices are going to be a lot lower now. Well, they were lower, it was confirmed when the deal was done. So they ended up saving a lot of money because of the controversy. And that was a big deciding factor of kind of, pulling the trigger on the deal, at least right now.
yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it. When the cards are in your favor. I don't think anyone's gonna hold them, that against them. That's just business.
no,
Nothing
yeah, that's
good
true.
or bad about
Man,
that. It's just man though,
do you remember
because like
back when Microsoft bought Mojang and thought, wow, that's a big buyout for video games? And
yes,
then you look at this and
and
that pales in comparison to it.
yes, and remember everyone was afraid. Not that I blame them. That when they bought Mojang out, that Minecraft is going to go to shit. But to be fair, Microsoft has treated that franchise and that studio extremely well, and that's something that Phil Spencer said. So when the Microsoft first brought Rare out for the original Xbox console,
Mm,
like the 2003 one or whenever it came out, um, they bought Rare. Basically, Rare was a second party developer for Nintendo, but they bought them out and they became a first party for Microsoft. And they kind of said, okay, do this, now do this, now do this. So like first they said, okay, make a sequel to Perfect Dark. That was a good game. I played through Perfect Dark Zero. It's an okay game, but it doesn't hold a light to the first one. And they said, okay, do this, now do this, and then now make Connect games. So they kind of tossed them to the wind, like
yeah,
just at a whim. And Phil Spencer said, you know what? that was a huge mistake on us. We will never do that again because they made Rare do things that they were not famous for, and they're hoping their name would just allow the magic to go through, and they would be able to, all these games would have the Rare magic. But you can't do that. You can't have that much control over a studio and expect the products are going to be just as good, right?
Hmm.
It doesn't make sense. But so they said they learned their lesson. They said, we're not going to ever do that again. So Minecraft Mojang was okay.
Yeah,
So as far as these studios, I have no doubt they'll be okay too.
yeah.
It's just, go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say if they're left to hopefully do what they're known to do, then that should make the studios a little bit better. Like Rare, even today, even though like a lot of people who used to work there don't work there anymore, it's still a shell of what it used to be. Like imagine if they allowed them to make a 3D platformer game. They could have had their own Mario or Donkey or whatever, like whatever collectathon. No, Banjo. Is that what
Banjo,
they're? Yeah,
yes.
Banjo. Sorry. Yes, they could have had their own type of game like that that they would solely own, even, and they would have allowed them to spread their wings in Microsoft that way instead of being thrown in the shovelware mines, which is where they dwelled for a long time before finally making is it Sea of Thieves and another day a couple of the games. Did they help work beginning with Killer Instinct, I believe? Question mark.
Yeah, Rare was, they invented Killer Instinct. They did Killer Instinct 1 and 2. Then the new one that's out on like launch with Xbox One, they handed off the
Yeah,
reins
they handed off the
to
reins,
another
but they
studio.
did start it off through them, right?
Yeah,
So,
they are directly responsible for the first couple the whole Killer Instinct franchise as a whole. Yes,
yeah.
but yeah, um, for example, the Perfect Dark game that they made for Microsoft now is good. The
Mm,
Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts game, not as good. It's still a decent game, I would say, but you don't play a Banjo Kazooie game to make vehicles. You know,
not
that's
really. That's one of the
so.
spin-offs you do when you're in between, you know, trying to get the debt or the rights holders or the companies say, "Come on, let us do a real one," and these people still want it. This is our
To be
spin-off. Come on.
Yeah, and remember, Rare was the people who made Donkey Kong Country as well. Some of the best
Oh,
series in gaming
mm.
of all time. Donkey Kong Country
Donkey
1,
Kong
2, and 3
Country.
for the Super Nintendo, and then later re-released on multiple other
Oh,
systems. But those were some, that was like classic platforming. Good luck ever beating that.
did
It's
they
just
also
the games were
do
so good.
DK64?
They did. They did. Although people, I remember getting that on like Christmas Day, and I remember thinking this is not as good as DKC, obviously,
Oh yeah,
but
obviously it's a different beast.
obviously it's a different beast, but it was still a good game. It played like Banjo Kazooie
Yeah,
a little bit, so it was different. It was very different, but that was the closest thing I can
I
kind of
wanna
describe it as.
play that again.
I know you love Donkey Kong the character
Well, not just that,
when
I've
he goes,
never beaten
yeah.
DK64, so like as you said, it was a different beast. So it's like, you play through it and you either get along with it or you don't. So it's just one
Hmm.
of those ones that's like, there's a lot of collectathoning going on in this game. But yeah, we'll see what happens like with this company alongside like with Bethesda, because not much has been released yet through Bethesda after their acquisition. So we'll see what new stuff comes out, or see how Starfield comes out. I'm more looking toward like the Elder Scrolls because that will have been solely developed under Microsoft, right? Under Microsoft's kind of wing, I guess you want to say. So we'll see. Uh, we do know that apparently through, at least through this acquisition, they claim that who was it? Activision Blizzard claims that at least like that all their games are still gonna be multi-platform or most of them. Things are very blurry as to whether or not they will be. They do apparently say that 100% under the current deal they have that the Call of Duty games will still be multi-platform.
Yeah, that was actually going to be one of the other
Yeah, I
news
just wanted
stories
to
we
like
covered
fold it
too.
in since
But
we're doing this
yeah,
whole thing.
okay,
So
yeah, just yeah. So Sony was not very pleased, obviously, to hear the news about the merger. But by the way, it hasn't technically happened yet. there's still going to be some time until it officially takes place. But I don't want to say guarantee. That's a little too strong of a word. But it's all but kind of set in stone
Yeah.
already. So there's very little avenue of escape for this not happening. But you know, but yeah. So Sony was not very happy because I think they tweeted out something like the next day saying, I'm just paraphrasing. I'm just going from memory.
Mm,
Something along the lines of, you know, we want to remind Microsoft that we have contractual obligations to the Call of Duty franchise. And they're basically saying, hey, don't try and pull a fast one over us. But again, Microsoft, at least this generation, has been like good guy Microsoft. And if we look at the patterns, they have upheld their obligations again to Sony themselves when this happened when they bought
Mojang.
ZeniMax out, when they said, okay, well, we're still going to release Deathloop. That's still going to be a PlayStation console exclusive for a year, as per the contract originally was before the
Mm-hmm.
buyout. And there was one other game I forget that kind of same lines. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
And
Sony was just
Starfield
trying
is
to,
going to be multi-platform still.
yeah, and Sony was just kind of, in my opinion, just kind of raising a stink for no good reason.
Yeah, I mean,
But
they would lose a lot of money. A lot of people play on PlayStation over Xbox when it comes to Call of Duty. I I want to almost say it's more PlayStation, but I have no numbers to back that up. So, meh, whatever. But still, it's a lot of money on the table if they lose that.
yeah, so they're committed to kind of again do what they committed already to do prior to the buyouts, and they said they will release bare minimum the next 3 Call of Duties on
Hmm.
the PlayStation, as was the plan originally, and that includes. So I'm just reading this from the Kotaku article by Ethan Gash, because I'm not a Call of Duty player, so I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I neither am I.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which is supposed to be 2023's entry,
Modern Warfare 2.
apparently. Rumored to be Modern Warfare 2. Second one would be 2023's entry of Call of Duty, whatever it is, and Call of Duty Warzone 2, a refresh of the Battle Royale that was also slated for 2023. So we're talking like since we just turned 2022, a couple years down the line.
Mm-hmm. They
So
usually release. Well, they do release one mainline Call of Duty every single year. So I can see this being 2 or 3 more years before they look at Sony and go, should we bother upping our contract again with them for this game for making not exclusive but
mhm.
simultaneous releases on the consoles?
And just because they're releasing on PlayStation doesn't mean that if they want to, and this is why I predict they will do, because this is what they've done since Game Pass existed, they can just release them on PlayStation then also put Call of Duty on Game Pass.
They could.
That's
I
that's
since they
you
do
know there's
know. Oh, jeez, my tongue got tied up. I was gonna say since they do now own them, they can now do that and just say we'll take the loss on this. Because more likely there's going to be, the normal Call of Duty stuff of microtransactions and other
ugh,
crap they could put in there. But we'll see. Maybe Microsoft will have them pull back on that and make a slightly different product in terms of like their monetization. I don't know. We'll have to see what the future holds for them in terms of their monetization practices and that because Microsoft may not be okay with all that nickel and diming to that extent. I mean,
they're usually not. You
but
have like a free to play game, you can sub if you want. For example, Elder Scrolls Online, that has a lot of buy a mount, buy some clothes, buy some emotes for your characters.
but
That's acceptable
but it
because you
is
don't have to
free or
technically buy a
mostly
game.
free.
Yeah, Microsoft doesn't have a problem with that, but they did. I think I did express this in like a previous podcast
Mm,
episode. I think they do have an issue with, like, as you said, nickel and diming players to that degree.
yeah, it's
So
like I was going to bring up. Oh wait, there was Halo, but Halo is of course free, the multiplayer. So they're making money off of the skins and stuff that they're reselling, not reselling,
yeah,
that they are selling on their marketplace. So I can't bring that up. I was about to make an arse of myself and bring up Call of Duty or bring that up, but
Halo,
yeah,
yeah.
Halos. So, but yeah, uh, it's interesting. It is huge, huge amount of money we're definitely going to see some changes. I wonder how much changes this is actually going to make in the company itself in terms of what's going on. Because apparently, unless things have changed since I last looked at the articles and that, they're going to be keeping Kotick and most of the people that are in charge of Activision Blizzard, unless the things changed. I remember reading that on I believe it was a different article. I could be wrong, or is it attached to this one? That
Um,
apparently he's going to still keep his position.
yes. So Bobby Kotick kind of put out a letter, and no one was very either impressed by it or kind of fell for it. Not that he was specifically lying about anything, but just basically him saying, "Oh yeah, everything's good under the hood. We're gonna keep the status quo. We're gonna, I'm glad this is the way things happened." But no, it's like uh, Bobby was fighting against this acquisition with all his power, but obviously he only has so much power in this. If Microsoft buys the majority of the shares, I don't care what position you are in the
Was
company. You
that
don't
how
really have
the?
much of a choice.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, is that how the acquisition happened? They just bought
I
the
believe
majority.
so. I believe
But
so.
either way, yeah, there's only so much Bobby can do. Even so, yeah. All right.
Um, it's funny. This is like a very brief news story, but it's kind of related to what you just said.
Oh,
Um, so Bobby Kotick was actually months previous to this interested in buying some gaming press that I put him in a negative light, specifically Kotaku and PC
I
Gamer.
was gonna
He
say
he
this is
want
totally for good things to help these companies to grow bigger.
Yeah, good
But
things.
you already you already beat me to the punch. So
Bobby Kotick is like the opposite of King Midas. King Midas, everything he touches becomes gold. Bobby Kotick, everything he touches turns to shit, apparently. Because, yeah, he wanted to buy these two gaming news outlets out specifically, just so they would stop shitting on him. And when I say shitting on him, I mean telling the truth
yeah,
and doing
to
their jobs and
telling the truth
reporting.
and all the information that has been made publicly available, and some not public, but has been made public because of these publications, because they did journalism, Bobby. Yeah,
Yeah. So to kind of have a direct quote here from
yeah.
the article from Video Game Chronicles. I don't see the author's name, so I'll apologize on that. But Mr.
Chris
Cott,
Scullion?
oh yeah, I just saw it. Yeah, there it is, Chris
I
Scullion.
think I said
So
that right. Sorry if
yeah,
I
you did.
didn't.
So Mr. Kotick has been eager to change the public narrative about the company, and in recent weeks has
Hmm.
suggested Activision Blizzard make some kind of acquisition, including of gaming trade publications like Kotaku and PC Gamer, according to people familiar with him. The report reads. Um, so yeah, basically he was butthurt that people are telling the truth, and he didn't want himself to be kind of casted in the light that he was,
Yeah, I
which
mean,
again is the truth.
normally what companies would do, and it's usually seen through, is that you would pay a person to make a snuff piece of how good your company is and all the good they've done in the past. But that hasn't worked out so well for other companies. So no, Bobby decided, well, I have billions of dollars. I'll just buy the publications and make them write good things only about my company and me. And I'm sure if Bobby could, he would buy the internet and make them remove the devil horns off of his pictures.
Yes, because as Jim Sterling reported way back in the day, like years ago, whenever Bobby Kotick tries and date someone, they inevitably Google his name after the date,
Or
and then find,
before.
or yeah, well then they wouldn't date him in the first place. But yeah, after the date, they kind of do a little bit of research. Not that they had to do very much. They see the devil horns, they see everything he's done, and they're like, nope.
Yeah,
And
apparently.
then so, well, that's from Bobby Kotick's own
Oh yeah.
experience. So if he wants to admit that, that's on him, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
literally coming straight from the horse's mouth. So there's nothing to really speculate about if he himself is saying that. So
Mm,
there you have it.
but
So
yeah,
that's the sort of person he is.
it is. It's the it, he really shines through in his work, we'll say.
Yes. In more ways than one, Chris. In more ways than one.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Okay, well, we're gonna have to unfortunately continue the Blizzard Activision news. We still have a couple things. I guess we should kind of keep on the same beat, Chris.
I guess. Um,
Since we already stepped into the shit with our one shoe, we might as well kind of you know keep on walking with it and not having let's just get our shoes dirty now so we don't have to kind of clean them twice.
okay, so this news came up earlier today or late last night,
It was yesterday.
but um, apparently the union efforts through Ravensoft is going to be they're going to try to crush even harder under their boot heel those unionization efforts. Apparently, so Ravensoft and them had they had asked on January 25th for Activision Blizzard to voluntarily recognize a newly formed union, the Game Workers Alliance, uh, which is an organization with the Communications Workers of American Union. Oh, sorry, jeez. They're organizing with the Communication Workers of America to unionize. There, that's the word I was looking for. Sorry, my brain can't shut off there for a second. And apparently, Activision Blizzard's fine. We'll take a vote. You know, to see how everything feels with everyone with all this. But they are demanding that everyone at Ravensoft vote, and not everyone is working there or is working from home, yada yada, right? So this is now giving Activision Blizzard time to even dig in their heels harder with anti-unionization efforts because they're telling them everyone has to vote and everyone should have a say, right? But this actually gives Activision Blizzard time to strengthen anti-unionization efforts throughout the company and try to stop this from happening. They apparently are also looking at putting in QA staff into specific sections in the company to split up QA staff. It's either new QA staff or the same ones, but splitting them up amongst the company so that they can't be unionized or together in the work efforts. And this will help to, they hope, lessen the unionization efforts and lessen their voice. This is a tactic used in other companies as well, where you'll split up problematic employees or keep those problematic ones over there as we hire other new employees to do their job in different companies. So they're technically, working in different sections. So they're not part of that QA staff or part of this group here. It is really shitty what they're doing. And they will do this and try and drag it out as long as they can to try and stop the unionization efforts.
I I have this is really shitty, but I
It's,
had a quick question,
yeah,
Chris. But go ahead.
if you can.
Go ahead.
No, I got nothing. Go ahead.
I'm just kind of looking at one of these articles, and it says by requiring all employees at Raven to have a say, Activision Blizzard is effectively arguing that either the entire studio unionizes or no one does.
Yes.
So that kind of can you clarify that? Like, because you just said they kind of want to divide the people so they can like pick on certain individuals versus not.
Not that was a different thing where they are hiring other members and other people for QA staff to work in other departments. But this whole thing is that everyone, rightfully so, everyone should have a vote, a say, in whether or not they unionize. But they're really trying to use that as leverage to convince people not to unionize or to drag it out longer so that their non-unionization efforts can have a stronger effect on people. They're really trying to use that as leverage to drag things out as long as they can, even if that may not be 100% their views or what they claim they're doing. That's what it looks like.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay. Just wanted
that's.
to kind of
But I may be missing something here. This news came out just like we just seen it right
yeah
before we
we
started. So
we didn't really have a lot of time to review this one. At least I
so
didn't.
if we have more to add to this, we will bring it up again. but it does look like it's a way for them to try to squash or stretch out the unionization slash non-unionization effort in total because of
Right.
them doing a couple different things with it because they obviously don't want unionization to happen because if it happens in one section of their company it'll start spreading to others because it's kind of how it works. It's like a virus. It's also unfair to everyone else who's working there to have one section of the company unionized and the rest not.
Yeah, I'm not sure how, because we're both Canadian, me and Chris. I'm not sure how the US laws and unions work. Like, I thought it would be up here where like the entire workforce has to be unionized. And even if you personally don't want to be part of the union, you still have to pay your union dues. And that's like the law here.
Yeah,
That,
kind
that
of. If
that's
you're
actually part of our
if
law.
the company
So,
is already unionized, you can't say, "Well, I don't want to be part of the union." You have to be. You are part of it, or you don't work there.
well, no, no. Well, up here in Canada, you can like have nothing to do with the union, but then like you still have to pay the dues of the union. It's kind of like weird. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you're still technically part of the union. You're right. Like you can't like represent yourself,
Yeah, you can't represent yourself if you're in a
but
company that's unionized.
you still have to pay union dues.
Yeah.
That's the law. So it's kind of strange how
Well,
that is, but
like
it
here
is.
in this situation, like I don't know if Ravensoft's QA team alone can unionize. So I believe what they are trying to say is that everyone in Ravensoft have to vote. And I believe they all have to agree to unionize. So that's also kind of the shitty thing. It's not a majority rules kind of thing. It's
Mhm.
I believe they're trying to say that they all have to say yes to unionization. I could be wrong on that, but
I,
either
I
way, they're trying to.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but that just does not sound right to me. Because if even one person says no, that would screw
I
everything
know
else up. That wouldn't make sense.
that's what they're
You
hoping
know.
for. Really, so that helps to them with their anti-unionization efforts to say, well, this one person said no, or this one person was sick and couldn't vote, or whatever BS, right? That's the way
Yeah.
I look at it. Uh, it's kind of really shitty what they are kind of trying to do uh with that. You know, it's whatever. I like since it seems like Activision Blizzard will be kind of left alone when it comes to the acquisition. I wonder if Microsoft will actually say something or if they'll make them force them to change certain ways and or overlook their shoulders more.
I
But we'll have to see that in the future. I don't know how strict they are with the other companies. Like if they're kind of left alone for their own devices or.
They have been. I looked into this actually, except for what I said at the start about Rare.
Mm,
They learned their lesson from Rare. After Rare, they've been mostly left alone, and the vast, if not everyone, who's kind of been bought out by Microsoft has said, "Yeah, we actually are in a better spot now," and it has nothing to do with money. Like one or the other, I'm sure money will make it better for them, but it's because they have to say, "Well, we no longer have to like." Rely on just us to kind of put out a game every so often to make money. We're kind of part of a greater team. You can
mm,
think of like if it helps you visualize it better, you can think of like we're I'm just making this part up by the
yeah,
way, but you can think like okay, we're part of Team Game Pass now. So it doesn't matter how often we get a game out because we're still getting paid. As long as we put content out, as long as it's good content, it doesn't really matter so much. Like you know what I'm trying to
yeah.
say?
I know what you mean.
It's like that pressure is just relieved off of them because they're part of a greater whole now and they can just do whatever the hell
Yeah,
they want as long as they're doing their job
yeah.
properly. It's kind of
I'm just
go ahead.
wondering if how much leeway and such that Microsoft will have in making sure Activision Blizzard stops doing scummy things to their employees and
Oh
such.
yeah, that
That's
that
what
was
I'm wondering.
that's actually part of our next news story,
Oh,
and I
really?
think
And what
our
would
last.
that next news story be?
So Blizzard plans on outlining or outlines plans to improve after challenging 2021. So basically, the way I kind of looked into this news story
Mm,
is basically this is just Blizzard trying to do as much damage control and not
mm,
actually, as Blizzard does in the few recent years, they just are kind of trying to bullshit. I don't know. Maybe this guy here means what he says, but it just sounds like corporate PR to
It,
me. So, do you remember? I think it's Mike Ybarra. We just talked about him
yes.
not too long. He was one of the two people. I know we covered this a couple times on a couple episodes. When what's his name? The pres J. Allen
J.
Brack, when
Allen
he
Brack. Yeah.
when they made him retire,
Yeah.
aka be the fall guy, they kind of there's no longer a president. There are two Blizzard co-leaders now. We covered already how I'm sorry, I forget her name. I should have looked it up beforehand, but
The
there's a female
co-lead, yeah, that's
there's a
left.
female and there's a male lead, and they made the female lead. She felt so kind of discriminated because she was a woman of color, she was a woman, and she was gay. She's basically like the token, like she had all the like the tokenness in her, and because of that, in her own words, she had to just step down from the position. I believe from the company as a whole
I
because she
believe
felt
so.
very marginalized and very yeah, it was not a good situation for her. So that's a position she was put in, and she wasn't even paid equally compared to Yabara. And Yabara was actually fought against the corporation, like, we should be getting paid the same amount. We're doing the same exact job.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't think Yabara is necessarily bad guy Yabara, just like we can say bad guy Bobby Kotick, whatever his last
Hmm.
name is. So however, reading
But
this,
it's
because
still
this is coming from him, it sounds like bullshit. It literally sounds
it
like
still
bullshit.
sounds kind of like corporate bullshit speak of, don't worry
Yes.
guys, we
So
got this. So,
I'm trying to give him credibility, but after reading this, it's kind of hard to.
mm,
So yeah, he basically put out a company wide letter on the company website saying, yeah, we're gonna try and do better, and he made a lot of promises. Like I guess we can kind of delve deep into some of them, but yeah, these are just like it's more of the same coming from Activision Blizzard. And at this point, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, or in this case, try to fool me 5 times or 6 times at this point. Shame.
well, I mean,
Shame on me.
really hope that they get their act together, and hopefully Microsoft puts pressure on them to do so and make sure they does, because I don't think things are going to fix themselves unless if they act, I think it as weird as it will take Microsoft to force them to change. Or I was gonna say unionization. We'll see what happens with that. Like it's fine and dandy to have outline of plans of how to improve and that, but all your other efforts that you claimed that were going to improve still haven't improved. They do say in this that all the things that we're going to change, that people still will be held accountable for stuff, including upper management. Like, so does that include or not include Bobby Kotick? Because last time you guys said this, it didn't.
Yes, that was actually the point. I was going to bring up like a few of the things he said. That was actually going to be the first thing I brought up just now.
That's the
So
one
let me
that
just
stuck out for me, was specifically
yes,
that. So,
that's why I'm calling this is bullshit because I don't believe because regardless of what else he's saying here, this one point, his
yeah.
bullet point
So we can
here,
bring up
just
a
really
couple of the bullet points here that they
yeah.
bring up.
So what the bullet point that me and Chris are talking about is we tripled the size of our compliance and investigation teams and have articulated clear accountability for unacceptable behavior. This applies to, and this is in bold, all employees at Blizzard, including leadership and management. Now, if that were true, then things would have been done about Bobby Kotick already. Because
And the people under him that he allowed to do this stuff.
keep in mind the ongoing investigation from the government against this company clearly shows Bobby hasn't been honest, and he's been in the know about all this sexual discrimination and everything else that's been going on. He's been
Mm.
in the know, and I don't want to say encouraging it necessarily, but
Well,
a lack a
basically,
lack a lack of voice can be argued as acceptance. So I'm not saying he's like, oh yeah, go ahead and do this to everyone, but at
oh
the
no,
same
not
time,
not at that point. But when
you know,
when he's basically there as shitty things are being done to people, and he just turns his back on them, or
exactly.
congratulates his business partner for cracking the whip harder, effectively. This is all.
It's like this sounds. extremely disingenuous, but that one bullet point makes the whole thing just sound plain
Yeah,
disingenuous. Like,
it's nice if that actually does happen. We'll see.
and
You know, go on,
yeah,
please.
keep in mind what I just said about Yabaro's co-leader, what happened to her. So now he's saying we're dedicating more full-time roles and resources to improving our culture. Like they're talking about, like, every company has a kind of internal culture in the workplace.
Mm,
All too often this important effort falls on employee resource groups filled with people who have already have full-time jobs. A few of the leadership positions we've established for this new team include a culture leader who will help us maintain the best aspects of what we have today and change and evolve where needed to ensure everyone brings their best self to Blizzard, a new organizational leader for human resources who will build trust, empower our teams, and help foster a safe, positive work environment for everyone. Uh, Diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DE&I, leader solely focus on our progress across multiple efforts in this area. We are committed to staffing these teams as a priority. Now, keep in mind, one of the things we covered in the previous weeks was like they are having like a board, like an ethics committee board, and they're filled with mostly board members. I think the two females on the board where it was like the two heads of this committee, of this self-appointed committee. It's like, that meme of like Barack Obama giving himself a medal.
yeah,
It's like, what the fuck are you guys thinking? It's like, this should not have to be an announcement. This should just be a normal thing that you do without having to like make a whole, song and dance about it. It just, this whole thing, I have a feeling that he was pressured into this. I'm not trying to cut this guy any slack at all. I'll call the bullshit where I see it, but
mm,
like, I feel like he was very much pressured into saying a lot of this shit from someone. So,
yeah.
because it just sounds like complete horseshit to
You
me.
know, because this came out, I'm expecting like within at least a month for another notice to come out saying, yeah, none of that stuff was implemented and things are still the way they were before. Just like what happened the last two, definitely one time that this happened. So, yeah, we'll see. Like, uh, I mean, that's really all we can do. Like, this is great if this happens, because then people will get hopefully start, getting treated better and with some more respect, and hopefully actually have a voice in the company, and with that will actually be listened to and respected. But I'm not holding my breath on that. It does
Yeah.
sound a lot like, PR, damage mitigation, BS, and we should put out a statement like this, so that Daddy Microsoft doesn't crack a whip on us. That's almost what it
um
feels like as well, because it came out at around the same time. So,
Yeah, I wanted to address that in just a second. I might as well. I figure I might as well just get the rest of the bullet points out of the way because they're actually really short ones compared to
okay,
what I
yeah.
just said. So yeah, we're measuring our executive. Sorry to do that voice again. We're measuring our executive and management teams directly against culture improvement.
Wait, what?
That sounds like bullshit already. This means their and my own success and compensation will directly depend on an overall success in creating a safe, inclusive, and creative work environment at Blizzard.
Okay, I
Uh,
misread that, the first sentence. To me, it sounded like we're measuring our and management team directly against culture improvement. So we are trying to steer them away from it back into the
uh,
slime pit they were in before.
well, no,
I
they're
misread it.
saying, "Hey,
Yeah,
our pay depends on this." I'm like, no, it fucking doesn't.
yeah. It was
No, it
supposed to
fucking
be.
doesn't.
It was supposed to be before, and people still got pay
Well,
raises based on how much sales they got, and not how good their team actually felt and was it
remember,
respected.
remember, Bobby Kotick still got his bonus, despite him not meeting the expectations set out
Oh, don't worry.
for him to get that
Well,
bonus,
yeah, but
right?
don't worry.
So,
He asked the shareholders, and they said it was okay. Not that he wasn't going to give himself that bonus anyway. He just wanted
right,
their approval.
right, he still gave himself a bonus despite not
The,
meeting the expectations on him. So, how much do you think we're gonna believe of that? That's complete horseshit. Like, I'm sorry, like maybe he's special. Well, I guess he is because he gets away with all this bullshit compared to everyone else. Uh, like, maybe he can get away with that, but
Hmm.
like still, it's like how it's like things need to work from the top down. So if we see they're not working at the top, I'm sorry, but like your credibility is kind of shot at that point. But anyways, another bullet point: we have shared representation data internally with our teams and have set goals around improvement across these metrics. That's very vague. That's the entire bullet
It
point.
that is extremely vague. It's just like, well, this is the data we gathered based on complaints or whatever else, and this is what they should be sitting at. Here's your memo. I'm like, oh, okay. So, is there anything in place to help to make this better? I guess with all these things, if it actually is working, it should improve things. But that is still like we sent out a memo to people. Here you go. Like, okay, whatever,
It's like
whatever. Next.
last one, in place an we put in place an upward feedback program so that employees have confidence in I'm sorry, I can't say it's without laughing. In evaluating management, I will use this measure and we will use this to measure the quality and effectiveness of our managers. Okay. Oh yeah, we really believe you on that one,
So
huh?
this is supposed to be
Oh man.
their one of their ways to be able to voice what's going on in the company. I wonder if they have to sign it with their name.
That's a good point because you should be able to do it anonymously
You
if you so
should,
choose.
especially if you're afraid that the company's going to fire you or discriminate against you for you speaking up about the company, which totally hasn't happened in this company.
Right? Right? I
So,
think
yeah,
we actually covered that on like a previous podcast episode where that exact thing
if
happened. So
not, we've definitely have heard it from other companies. Oh, where did it happen? God, I swear, Eve's Gum. No, it wasn't Ubisoft, I don't think. The guys who
uh
do.
right?
No, I don't think it was right either. Although,
I don't actually know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to
I'm
remember.
just guessing companies.
Yeah, I know. You mentioned two, but there's another one. A French company that made Beyond Two Souls.
French.
Yes.
I don't remember.
They made Beyond Two Souls and Fahrenheit 9/11.
Well, now that you're giving me games, I can just Google it.
Yeah. Uh, I want to say that happened there because people voice their opinions about shitty things that are going on in the company, and then they started on blackboards and stuff, gay bashing them and calling them out. You know, making messes
Quantic
of
Dream.
their work. Quantic Dream making messes of their work environment. You know, the guy running Quantic Dream ran out of the courtroom because he's been taken to court over all the bullshit happening in his company. He ran out of the courtroom crying, saying, "You're disrupting my creativity and you're ruining my team."
Oh,
That
wow.
actually happened.
Hmm.
That happened last year or the year before. Yeah, that's also another piece of shit company. You shouldn't buy their games. Uh,
Well,
from me, you shouldn't buy their games because I wouldn't.
well,
That's not a
I'm not
opinion of the podcast.
right. I I think unless you have anything to add, Chris, I think
No,
we're
I think
pretty
that's
much
it.
done. So
Before we start
now
ranting.
I think that puts an end to our kind of our first part of the gaming news segment of the pod. Like in terms of just like Blizzard news,
Yeah,
that's
that's
about it.
like the
Actually,
big one. There is one small one. It's not
yeah,
actually awful.
I was actually gonna say that. Like we do have another Blizzard piece of news, but this has nothing to do with anything we talked about. This is like basically pure gaming news without
Yeah.
any of the drama or the kind of background.
Mm,
So basically, yeah, Blizzard is working on a new universe. It's a new IP. It's going to be a survival game. And yeah, you were thinking, oh, great, but like give the developers like give them kind of a separate space to your mind compared to everyone else at Blizzard because the developers have nothing to do with any of the stuff we just talked about, right? They are their own people. They make, maybe not as good games as when Blizzard was an independent force, when they made like Diablo 2, Warcraft 3, StarCraft.
we
But
made
still,
Overwatch.
what makes me excited for this is as reported by Jason Schreier, and he's like pretty much the most well-known journalist when it comes to gaming news. I want to say he has a lot of breaking stories. He works for Bloomberg now. but like he's the guy responsible for like outing the Destinies, like making them crunch and all that. And basically anything with crunch culture, he kind of calls companies out. Has a lot of breaking stories like that. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is a very reputable game journalist,
Mm,
but he had a very small tweet about this, and he said, so he said, even some of the most disgruntled Blizzard employees rave about this game slash team. So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, okay, well, might not be as kind of, I don't want to say bad, but this might not be as kind of, I shouldn't be overlooking this as maybe I that was my initial reaction, as I should have been like maybe I should be paying a little more attention to this. I'm not sure about you, Chris. I'll let you answer in a second, but I personally am not into survival games. I've played a few in my day, but I played Conan a little bit, just for shits and giggles. I didn't play it very seriously. I played um well, I don't remember what else, but yeah, I guess technically Minecraft counts as a survival
it
game
it
if you want
does.
to look at it. So I guess I did play a little bit of Minecraft. So I do have a little bit of experience, and yeah, definitely not my cup of tea. I guess Conan Exiles would be more of a hardcore survival game.
Yeah, that's more like
Minecraft would be the
Rust.
most, yeah, Minecraft would be a lot more softcore, or the most softcore.
Mm,
So yeah, new IP from Blizzard, and apparently it's gonna be pretty fucking good. Not up my alley, but I'm always excited to see when this thing sort of happens, especially from a we're talking just about games, not
mm,
nothing else. Especially when it comes from a very reputable company like Blizzard, and when they make IPs, it's usually really fucking good. Like I think the last IP they made that was new was Overwatch,
yep.
and not my cup of tea. I have Overwatch, but you can't really argue the popularity and how people love the universe and the lore and all that. But anyways, I'll let you answer, Chris. Have you played survival games, and what do you think about this?
I love Minecraft. I play Minecraft a lot. It's a drug. But yeah, I played Minecraft. I played Conan Exiles, some Pirate One, another one. 7 Days to Die, I guess, is kind of that. In a way, it's not. I mean, it is multiplayer, so yeah, I guess that does count as well. So I've played, ones here and there. It depends on the game. If like I assume that this is gonna be like multiplayer, open world, survival game, like those types of games, like Rust and all the ones we mentioned. So, I mean, it could be good. I wonder what they mean by new universe. They only showed off like what one, maybe two screenshots that don't really show much of anything. Like very tribal, looking character, like skull mask and feathers, hide. Like definitely not futuristic, at least from what I could tell. But it also does. The other screenshot they showed was like a bike and like two people in like modern-ish clothing, like hiking clothing. Like, is that also part of the universe? So I don't know what's going on. They didn't really say much about the game, but it could be good. Like, yes, give Blizzard credits where it's due. Like, they do usually make good games and good universes and lore. Like, they know what people want out of their games. Like knowing from like StarCraft, Diablo, and all those other games they have. Like they put in lots of story and lore into them. So
Yeah.
I find this hard to not be a kind of successful game for them. We'll have to see when it comes out, when they release more and more information about it. I'm not gonna play it because I'm not supporting them myself. But if it's good, I hope it's supported well. But I also hope personally the company gets better, and
Hmm.
just everything better as a whole. you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
because I didn't
I
want to bring that up. I'll just leave
right.
it there.
Okay. Well, if you're finished,
Yeah.
I did want to say something that was kind of, I can bring up this story, but I forgot to bring up in the last one we just did just now.
Oh yeah.
Um, so something that we kind of had on our last episode was, remember when I told you kind of Phil Spencer kind of said, we're gonna kind of like look into our relationship with them, and we're going to kind of go from there. And I said,
Mm,
actions speak louder than words. It's good that he's saying it, because not every, like, he's the only person who's saying it now. We know kind of why now. because he can afford to say it. But still, like I have a really good feeling, just due to past like past patterns, that Microsoft will generally improve Blizzard Activision. They'll make the changes they need to. I don't think they'll be afraid to get their hands dirty, because Bobby Kotick is on his way out essentially. So yeah,
I hope so. I mean,
that's where the rumor mill is. And yeah, I think that's I think again, this is just speculation on my part. I think that's what Phil Spencer was talking about when he says we're going to reevaluate our relationship. Well, if you don't like the other person in the relationship, like not like romantic, like I don't like my friend, let me rearrange his molecules or her molecules, and there you go, new person. That's what they're going to be doing. I think that's what he was trying to get at. He was like very sliding it beneath the radar. That's just my speculation, so
yeah,
take it with a grain of salt. But
they could
yeah,
be. Like, I was thinking of what he was saying too, and going, well, now we know why you were being vague yet not vague in certain
mhm.
things you were saying because of this acquisition. So, yeah.
And kind of how it relates to this game is this game will be a long time since after Microsoft purchases Blizzard when this game comes out. So I think this game specifically will be free of any drama.
Yeah.
But so I think this game, I think it's only clear, as I said, developers are not management; they don't make any decisions. I think it's kind of we see this game and give it our like a fresh perspective, and hopefully when it comes out, the culture will have majorly improved and got rid of all the toxicity that exists currently. And yeah, I'm again not my cup of tea, but I'm excited for them to it's almost like a fresh start for them.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It not quite, but you kind of know. It's kind of like them kind of refining themselves after cutting all the toxic ties within themselves, I guess.
Hopefully, that is what it will feel like or what is going to happen. Like, that they basically get recreated.
Oh, and so Asmongold, who's like a very famous streamer, like a WoW streamer, and
I was gonna
he
say
said,
famous for kind of WoW, isn't he? Or she?
yeah, yeah,
I I don't know
he had
Asmongold that well.
yeah, he had I actually watched his reaction about this specific story, and he made a really good point. He says, "You know what? Out of all the genres that they could have made a new game out of, this was the best one." Because he said a lot of, well, if not, he's actually made the claim all, but again, he has a lot more experience playing these games than I did. He said he claims that all the kind of survival games are very much not good in terms of they feel very jank and incomplete, and there's more that can be done with them.
Mm,
And he said if Blizzard actually does what Blizzard does, and kind of like in their approach, he says Blizzards are not innovators; they're perfectionists. So they take a genre, they make no claim to fame having you know popularized it, but they will take it and they will perfect it. And he says, they're not infallible though. Like Heroes of the Storm, he made the example that game failed. Obviously, it's on. I don't want to say life support because there's like, but like they discontinued the game in terms of like no new characters and all this stuff. But they're not afraid to kind of try and get their hands dirty and try to perfect the game.
mm,
So that was his point of view, and I said, you know what, that's actually a really good point. Would not have thought about that myself,
yeah.
having not played survival games.
I wouldn't say that all survival games are shit. Some of them would come real popular, but a lot of them come out in early access because they take a long time to
Hmm.
make, and they are dependent on how many people are playing the game, and servers being up for people to be able to play, and hopefully not creating a toxic environment which will lead people to not want to play the games. So it, but you are right. Blizzard pretty much are perfectionists in a way. They will take a genre that already exists or take one that kind of already exists and then work it into something else, but they will try to make it better in the end, hopefully. And they'll throw their Blizzard, I guess, magic, Blizzard way of doing things onto it. And that since Blizzard already has big fan base, it usually already comes with the caveat of there's already a large player base waiting to try this out. So, and even if a game's been out for years, they still usually support them. Like, doesn't Blizzard 3 still get lots of support in the way of like they're still doing their was it uh what are they called, seasons? I could be wrong unless they stopped Diablo 3 now, but they kept it up for a long time, the ranked
Yeah, it's still
seasons and
going.
that. So they usually do try to support it as long as there's people playing, people wanting to play it. So, like, if anything, that's one thing they're usually good for. Just wish we could see that for some of the other franchises, like StarCraft. Be nice to get another StarCraft. RTSs have been dead for a long time. They should make another good StarCraft.
I think Blizzard, after the whole Warcraft 3 Reforged fiasco, I think they're gonna not try their hand at that for a long time to come.
It's been
Probably.
a long time, like a real long time since. Like, I'm not into RTSs, but there's been some that have come up for some kit from some companies, and the big ones, nothing's come up for them. Like obviously StarCraft, nothing. Warcraft, not since WoW, really. We won't count the remasters, but really not since WoW, right? And Command and Conquer, that's been dead in the water for a long time. Their recent pushes for the shitty mobile games for Command and Conquer Generals 2, fuck off. Fuck off
I
again.
agree.
What garbage that was when I seen you guys what you guys want to do with that game. Anyway,
Playing 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 a RTS game with your fingers
well,
probably not a good
it's
idea.
not just that. Do you remember, generals had, you could pick, what faction you wanted,
Yeah,
and then pick what general you want because they all had special
yeah.
abilities.
I
Well,
love that
in
game.
their version, they wanted to give you one general per faction, and then you had to pay money for all the others.
Oh my god. Fuck off.
Like,
I
like,
agree with
like
you now.
just that
Fuck off,
alone
EA.
of them nickel and diming, like cutting out content that was there before. And I looked at the generals, like, if I also play this, already I'm looking at this, and my favorite general is already taken out for extra content I have to pay for. I like Dr. Thrax. I like setting anthrax bombs on people.
Yes, Dr. Thrax.
Like,
uh
you know,
what was he part of the Russians or
he was the I guess the quote terrorist group. He was like the ones, like one of their super groups was the AK4, the angry mobs.
Oh yeah,
And when you
so
level them
that
up,
was
when you level them up to their max level, they would get AK. It would just be an AK-47 put in every mob's hand, and the leader would yell AK-47s for everyone, and everyone would start
yay.
chanting, "Yeah!" I mean, I love playing as that faction. So
Yes, that faction was hilarious just because of silly stuff like that they put in the game, you know?
yeah, but anyway, I wish some companies would support some of their older games. I also wish that some games wouldn't have to shut down their online servers because of exploits
You know
found.
what? You read my mind. That's what I was gonna bring
Awesome.
up, but go ahead. Since you brought it up,
Yeah,
I'll let you
so
go for it.
I really like Dark Souls. I don't really do multiplayer, but I'll play online. Like, I'll I'll keep my game online so I can have the online interactivity sometimes. Sometimes I'll turn it offline when I have to go into, the multiplayer sections of the games, like the Force multiplayer, because I am terrible at fighting people. I just want to do the PvE to myself. But love Dark Souls and the types of games those are, right? I'm sure you've played a few of them. Dark Souls or
I
Dark
only
Soulsies type games.
I only played the first Dark Souls. I 100% the game. I got
Mm,
all the achievements, so I kind
wow.
of know what I'm talking
You
about
did
from
way
the
more
first
than
game.
me for that.
Yeah, I you know me when when I commit to a game, I like to see it through. That's just my completionist nature. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, but apparently there was an exploit found, I believe first in Dark Souls 2 and then Dark Souls 3. Now apparently it's also in 1 because they're all basically running off the same engine, question mark, or have the same um online. I don't know exactly where the bug is, but apparently playing online against people, they can force code through the game on your PC to give them direct access to your PC. This is very scary shit that someone could just
Yes.
drop an item or interact with you in the game or type something into. I guess Dark Souls doesn't have type, but they could just, while interacting with you in a multiplayer game like Dark Souls, where there's drop in, drop out co op and multiplayer, just have control over your PC. And people are very scared that if this is this, if it works in 1, 2, and 3, this will also affect Elden Ring, which is about to drop, like, so I believe sometime this year. Like,
Oh, next month.
shit, next month? Fuck.
Yeah, it's the 26th today of January, and I think the release is the 25th of February.
Oh, I
So
didn't know it was
just
that soon. I know they had a like online beta testing happening like
yeah, it's
recently
less.
ish. I think Angriest Pats was playing a bit of it and I haven't checked it out, but yeah.
It's almost exactly a month away, dude.
Oh shit. But yeah, this is still, this is like scary, scary shit. Holy crap. There's apparently a fan made patch that already kind of fixes this, but the Namco Bandai has turned off the servers for Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 to stop this from happening. 1, 2, and 3 on PC. Apparently, this doesn't affect console. I don't know if it's because it's harder to hack on console or if the way the online infrastructure works, they can't get through to you. But still, it is out there. And if you've been wondering why you can't play online, that's the reason. And I hope no one got access to your guys' PC or sensitive data through this exploits.
A couple points I wanted to bring up about
Yes,
this story was,
please.
first of all, before you're worried about anything, guys. Apparently, there's only 4 people who knew how to do this,
Well,
and
apparently.
apparently this has been actually exploitable for a very long time. Well, not okay, maybe not that long, but like let's just say a long
Oh,
time
really?
period. And yeah, because the same people who've been discovering it have been trying to be taken themselves seriously. Like they reported the bug and nothing was done about it, but then they're like, well, if the bug is still here, this is a very dangerous exploit because someone can potentially brick your entire system or steal
Mm-hmm.
sensitive data like banking information or whatever. We they should be taking us a lot more seriously. So what they did was actually they went on a streamer's stream.
The Grim Sleeper.
Yes, I believe you're correct. And they basically did the exploit on him, but then they basically, once they kind of closed the game, they did some text to speech, and he was very surprised that it happened, and it was only through this action that they kind of got enough publicity and attention that the developers were like, oh, okay, maybe we shouldn't have ignored you, maybe we should have taken
Yeah.
your help a little more seriously and not not like kind of completely shout on you. And yeah, so now these guys are really pushing it because apparently, because it's in all 3 Dark Souls games, they're like, well, technically, you're probably using similar code, so it's
Mm.
probably going to be an Elden Ring next month, and that's going to be a huge, 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 huge
Yeah.
amount of players playing it. So yeah, let's try and get this done as soon as we can. So basically, it was good guy hackers this time.
Yeah. I mean, it's really shitty that they had to go to this length
Mhm.
to get the developers to finally listen to them, because it wasn't until after this happened and news of this came out on like social media that the developers finally said, we've heard you, we've got tickets in, we're gonna look into it. It's like, wow, it took you this long. They've been talking to you guys about this for, or trying to get your guys' attention about this for a long time, and you guys kept ignoring them. Like,
Yeah.
really? Like, holy crap. Man, it'd be weird if this actually happened to another company, something similar to
I,
that.
I know you're being ironic, but I can't think of what company this would be.
Well, do you have
Like,
anything to add onto this one?
oh, I see what you're saying. You're gonna go into a segue.
Well,
Uh,
I'm doing a pseudo segue, but I'll wait until we're done with this before I
oh,
fully.
I'm done.
Okay,
I'm done. So
well then,
go for it.
it'd be really weird if people had to fight and talk to the community and such for like 3 months or
Oh,
4 months
okay.
to try and get a game that's completely busted working again. Like Star Wars Battlefront 2, there is a glitch in the game for at least the last 3 to 4 months, in which players' health drops to 1 and they can't kill themselves. There are like battles in which you see the chaos of people just going nuts on each other, fighting each other for endless fighting, and the only way to resolve to stop it is just to quit the game because you can't. That game bug is now borked and you can't fight. It is insane. These guys have had this bug, have been talking to them on Twitter and on social medias like what's the other one? Um Reddit. And apparently the devs have been kind of ignoring them or saying, "Oh yeah, we know about it. We'll work on it." But their first official response for this wasn't until like January, like 3 months after this was made public to them, and they are saying, "Oh, people are just getting back from vacation, Christmas vacations, and we're gonna start looking at that now, not in October when this was brought to you guys' attention." Not when all these YouTube videos were coming up saying, this is happening and everyone was talking about how broken this game is and that they can't play a game that is not being officially supported by EA anymore, technically, because they stopped updates about, I'm going to say a year ago. So, yeah, for it to be ignored for that long, and this bug is getting more and more, I want to say more serious, but it's being more and more recognized now in the
It's
community.
it's definitely become more prevalent over time. It
Yeah,
used to be a pretty rare thing, and now it's a pretty common
I
occurrence, apparently.
Yeah, it's really dumb. It's like, oh, we now hear your complaints and we'll now look into it. It's like you're now going to. I really hope that this looking into it isn't followed by servers are shut down. That's how EA will solve this issue because
That's
they're not making money off the game anymore. And I'm sure that they are definitely not happy with the community complaining about the loot crate system in the game, which they eventually took out or made not pay loot crates, but it was a really shitty system to put in the first place. They got lots of hot water on it by Disney and tons of people when it came out. Well, maybe not by Disney. More Disney saying, "What are you doing to our IP?" But
yeah.
that's a different story. But yeah, like to me, EA would just love to just bury this and just shut down the servers as quick as possible because that's what they do with games
hmm
sometimes. And really, I don't know how many people play this game as is, so I don't know how big the community is, but this is just gonna shove people away unless they fix it. And I really, me looking at EA, I think that they're just going to try to not throw money at it and hope either people shut up and then they could quietly shut down the servers within a year's time. But I hope that they actually fix this and allow people who are still playing the game to still play and have fun. Yeah.
I know you're joking about them shutting down the servers, but that's what they do for the sports games. Oh,
Uh,
FIFA 2022 is out. Shut down FIFA 2020.
like
It's
like
like
like I think they might keep them up for a little longer, like they do that with Battlefield. But eventually, like, within a year or two of the next one coming out, they'll keep them up for like a few years and then they'll shut them down quietly, right? Because most people, at least for like the sports games and the other ones, usually do migrate over, like they have that fan base, but they will eventually shut it down. But I don't think they're going to be shutting this down with the announcement of Battlefront 3. Technically Battlefront 5, but
yeah, that's just it's EA for you. There's not really much else to say. This is kind of been their status quo for like a decade or two at this point.
yeah,
So
but it's sad that like almost 4 months and they're now addressing saying, "We hear you guys." Like I know that's not EA talking, that's the development team. So, but still, for it to take that long for developers to listen to people in the community and
lis- listening to the players who actually play your game faithfully, get out of here.
get out of
We don't
here.
need any of your yeah, we don't need any of your
We're not.
loyalty.
Yeah, it's just kind of shitty. Uh, but yeah, you know, it's what it is. We can only hope that they actually fix it for those people who are playing. Because I don't think you really play Battlefront.
No, I'm not a
It's
Battlefront player.
it's really funny watching watching this glitch and seeing two Jedi just wail on each other, and
Yeah,
seeing the
I've
stormtroopers just make a ring around them as they're just dueling
mhm.
it out and going, "When are these guys gonna die?
It's like
Is that gonna happen?"
I've seen the videos and I love Star Wars in general, but yeah, it's kind of like what's the point of playing the game if you can't win or lose? It's
Yeah,
literally just like you're in limbo. You just quit the game, and like no one wants that.
yeah, no one
There's
wants
literally
it.
no point playing a game where like nothing progresses.
It's funny to see, but as a very rare bug, that which is what it used to be, but now it's getting a way more. The bug is getting stronger. It is mutated.
Yes, yes, let the hatred flow through you.
Yeah. But yeah,
Pretty much. Yeah.
all right. I think we go into another one because I don't have one that can just slide right into this. So
Yeah. You're done with your segues. You ran out of your segues.
for the moment, I had a good run today.
You did. You have to start using your feet. You can't use the scooters anymore.
Uh, all right. Well, do you want to
But
bring one up here? We did do Sony exclusivity basically with the Microsoft stuff and Blizzard stuff. So with them saying that they're still going to have commitments with them. So I guess, and we could actually talk about one that I actually watched. I watched oh, who was it? Crap. I watched another YouTube streamer talk about this. Most Critical. I watched Charlie talk about this. Before I think you posted it, or was it I? Apparently, Twitch star Ninja is
Ninja. Yeah.
threatening Pokimane with legal action for alleged harassment.
Yeah, so I guess brief synopsis
We're
is
gonna have to because
yeah,
it's based all on
Pokimane
that.
yeah,
Or did I
Pokimane
say her
very
name wrong?
popular.
Sorry, I think I said her name wrong.
It's all right. Pokimane very popular Twitch streamer.
One of the bigger, well, about on par with Ninja, isn't she? I'd say it was
I
close.
wouldn't claim that. I'm not sure what their
Well,
numbers
Ninja's one
are.
of the
I
biggest, but she is huge. So
Yeah, she is also huge, yeah. But so she got a hate raid, which is that's never okay. I didn't look into it because there's no reason for me to, but apparently they were spamming L plus ratio.
yeah, I don't know what
So
that means.
I didn't look into it. I don't really care. I don't need to get,
But either
it,
way,
that's
it was meant for harassment from another
yes,
popular Twitch streamer.
it was probably like a slur of some kind. Again, I don't need to know that. That's not something I
Yeah,
need to. I don't need to acknowledge his existence. Is what I'm
yeah,
trying to
like
say. So, anyways, I'm not sure what that meant, but apparently it hurt her. She banned the person and his stream. It wasn't Ninja. It was someone
it
else
was
entirely.
J Don Adams who told his Twitter
Yeah,
or told his followers what when the raid happened to spam this, I believe.
yeah. So that happened to her. She kind of posted on Twitter, and she's like, "This is not okay. Obviously not. I probably would have done the same thing if that would happen to me." Apparently, GDN also made allegedly extremely sexual comments about Pokemon in reference to her sex life, and asked other streamers to go to war with him over this. So after his ban, he apparently uh, was very apologetic. Apparently, not sure how sincere it was, but yeah. So that happened, but then a ninja apparently, again, I I don't know the full details. Apparently, he was friends with this guy who
Mm.
did this to Pokimane, and he was like, "Oh, well, let let me try." He like it was this was not directly to Pokimane, but it was like to Jillian about um, let me try and get into contact with my Twitch representative to kind of try and unban you. That was basically what he said, and obviously Pokimane didn't take this the right way. Now, up
Well,
until this point,
there was another phrase he used that was also not good.
yeah, go ahead and take over because
Uh,
I was going to say I think up until this point I kind of am correct, but yeah, if you want to take over, go for it.
uh,
But like, what did you mean by that other phrase just now?
I'm trying to find it exactly, but he was saying something like calling the phrase he used because I don't remember. I don't have it here explicitly, but he basically said something along the lines that made J-Don, because he was watching his stream and
Hmm.
watching Ninja stream, that where it made it sound like that J-Don thought that Ninja was calling her a bitch, like as if he was saying like bitches always act like this or something like that. And then as soon as Ninja said that, he's like, "Oh shit, no, I meant other bitches." It's like,
Huh.
wait, what? I'm sorry. So this happened, and other things like you could go take a look at the video. But Pokimane watched Ninja's, or was it Jadon's capture of the stream? Because I believe he was streaming Ninja's reaction and what he was talking about it. I believe, because I don't think they're in the same voice call, or maybe they were. But anyway, Pokimane watched this clip on her stream, and she didn't really comment on it. She more, or no, she didn't really react. She more commented on exactly what was going on in the video. And that was enough to have Ninja's manager slash wife um, threaten Pokimane with legal, saying that she can't be posting this stuff or say that stuff because it's defaming and Ninja's character. Now, I watched Pokimane's clip. She did not do any of this shit. All she did was say, "Oh, so this is going on. Yeah, okay. Ninja said this, and it looks like Jadon thinks that Ninja thinks he's calling me a bitch," and that's basically what was going on. And yeah, there's no defame. There's no character calling. She's not like saying people shouldn't be following a Ninja. She's not like calling Ninja. Telling people stop supporting Ninja. Or that he eats babies or any bullshit like that, right? Nothing to defame him or anything like that. It was just her watching the clip and reacting and commenting on it, but nothing bad was actually said. It was taken very straight faced, as you would think. And then Ninja's wife came out and said, "We're talking to our lawyers. We're going to, you can't do this to Ninja." Yada yada. I was like, I would love to see this go to court because you don't have a case.
No. And I'm just going to go ahead and read
Yes,
something from this article
please.
from Jeremy Winslow from Kotaku. Just a couple paragraphs here. I just had it.
Because I believe there's things I
So
miss as well. Because I'm remembering this
yeah,
from secondhand, from
so
this article.
yeah,
And
it kind of goes back to what I said about the let me contact a representative. So Pokimane took on Twitch on January 17th to discuss the incident and shared several self-edited clips of Ninja streams where he gave his 2 cents on the
mm-hmm,
situation. Ninja explicitly said he texted his Twitch representative to see what could be done about GDon's permaban, but said there was nothing he could do. Ninja later denied texting his Twitch contact in a private message to Pokimane and deleted the video, which was available to watch after the live stream ended. But Pokimane saved clips proving that Ninja did, in fact, say he reached out on Gideon's behalf.
mm-hmm,
Um, so Pokemon, so in the clip here, Pokimane holds up her phone, showing what appears to be a Twitter DM from Ninja. Not only does he swear on his dead grandpa's life that he quote didn't text his Twitch rep, but Ninja also vaguely threatens Pokimane, saying she's making quote making a big mistake, whatever that means. Um, so yeah, that's kind of strange because then, as you said, Ninja's wife slash manager kind of just like got on Pokimane's ass and just basically tried to essentially scare her with legal action. But Pokimane did not back down because
yeah, she should. There's
she's telling the truth.
Yeah,
Like,
she's
like
got all this evidence that Ninja apparently, which I didn't know, is trying to hide. Like
yes,
the bit, so like if they go to court, like I can see if this goes to court, like Ninja's not gonna win unless if he tries to throw a lot of money at it to bullshit his way to a win. Because this is garbage. You haven't won anything. This guy fucking hate rated someone, and then you start acting like this for whatever reason, and this could have all just been smoothed over, but then you start start deleting things and start trying to run damage steps, and then your wife gets on the horn, and everything that's going on since that stream is just making you look worse and worse. And there's all this evidence on the internet of the things you had done. You can't erase it, it's there. You're too popular for this stuff not to just disappear. Like,
Yeah.
when they say what happens on the internet stays on the internet, you're too popular for it to not be able to be disappeared. Like that comes with the territory of
Yeah,
you
I
being
mean,
you. Like for us, if that was to happen, it might we could, you know, I'm sure that no one would pay attention, but for him, it's going to get attention. And I actually thought that this was going to be a bigger story because of uh, the actual guy who kind of started the ball rolling on this, but he's kind of left sidelined because of Ninja. So it would have just been a story of the streamer did a hate raid, but then because of all the actions that Ninja and his wife has done afterwards, kind of shifted the blame story to them and them threatening legal against Pokimane.
yeah, I kind of hate that we're covering this because technically it is gaming news, but it's more so Twitch
It's
news,
more Twitch news,
But
but we do Twitch, and Twitch is a huge part of
oh,
gaming now.
no, 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 no. I'm just saying, like, I hate that we're covering drama like this.
Yeah,
But
but it's
that's all I meant.
no one a Twitch streamer has never sued another Twitch streamer. If this happens, this will be the first time it's happened. It will set a precedent.
Yeah,
That's why it's
that's true.
also very important to
Oh, for
see
sure.
Ninja fail, because I'm certain it will, because he has no ground to stand on.
So I'm going to read one more paragraph
Please.
that kind of sums this up very, very elegantly, I think. But let's be honest, this predicament is totally unnecessary.
Mm,
Looking at a quick summary of the facts, Gideon hate raids Pokimane. Gideon gets permabanned.
mm-hmm,
Gideon then creates a campaign to reverse the permaban. Ninja had no reason to get involved.
mm-hmm.
That he chose to of his own volition and then deliberately said he texted his Twitch representative to do something about it, puts him right in the crossfire. Now he and his manager want to claim defamation of character when Ninja literally said he texted his representative. Shit makes no sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
there you go.
Pokimane's video, like if they want to bring up the video, she doesn't say anything. She just comments on what's going on. Like there's no extra real comment going on.
Mm-hmm. And
So
and the ironic part about this is Gideon has taken to Twitter and he admitted completely being wrong. And he already says he apologized to Pokimane personally and that he'd be streaming on YouTube now. So he fully admits what he did was wrong.
yeah,
Not that I'm not saying he should be forgiven. I'm just saying, like, in the context of the situation, this should have been originally between Pokimane and
and
G
Gideon,
Dion.
yeah,
But now he's like completely out of the picture as far as the legal case is
yeah,
concerned. Now it's like Ninja. It's like, what the fuck happened here?
yeah.
It makes no
I
sense.
almost think, as weird as it is, like this is kind of headcanon I heard from someone else, but it kind of is funny to think of, or kind of makes sense that, like, you know, Twitch, not Twitch, Ninja's, like, I guess manager is his wife. You
Mhm.
shouldn't have your significant other be part of your business, like your management. It's kind of because it will help to further things to maybe be worse, because there's lots of emotional baggage there. It almost sounds like that as soon as Ninja's wife heard about some of this, that she jumped onto Twitter and just started texting furiously, up this huge thing. And then as soon as Ninja was done his stream, he's like, "All right, time to try and work on some stuff." And because he's not an idiot, right? Like I don't think he's an idiot. Yeah, I don't think he would have gotten as far as he did if he was. Um, but like it sounds like that he like took back. It's like, all right, time to work on some damage control, because stuff was said. We could work this out, right? And then he saw Twitter from his wife and went, "Oh, for fuck's sakes!" That's what it almost sounds like him going, "Oh, damn it!" Right? And it's
Yeah.
like, now I
Well,
have to deal with the escalation of this because of management. And that's almost what it feels like, but maybe
I think
not. I
I
don't.
think they almost sabotage each other. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that in a way, right? Without it meaning to have been sabotage, it almost feels like that they did. to each other. Uh, this is stupid. This
It is stupid.
shouldn't be going to court. If it does, I'm 100% certain Ninja doesn't have a leg to stand on.
He
Not with all
doesn't,
the information that's out there.
and despite what they're wanting to say, not backing down. As you said, they're not stupid. I don't think they're stupid enough to take this to court. I don't
They,
think this will be in court at all.
they better
They're
not be. I think Ninja's smarter than that. He better be, because he's
I
gonna
would
look
be
he's gonna look really stupid when he takes this to court and loses. And if he loses, everyone's just gonna look at him and say, "We told you so." Like, and
I would be flabbergasted if he
yeah,
took this to court. I would
I think a lot
I
of people would be.
so yeah, that's it on that, Chris, I think, right?
That's that. We're hitting about 150. Do we want to end it there and save the rest for next?
Yeah, I think we should. I think
So these
we
other
covered a
ones are
lot of
kind
news
of,
today.
yeah. We've got like two more, which could be left for next week. We'll deal with that then.
Yeah.
They're not super
Sounds
big. We
good.
kind of took care of the bigger ones and slid into some others. So, uh, let's see. I guess you can find me on Twitch under Prince_Kaboom. We do the podcast there every Wednesday evenings, most Wednesday evenings. The circumstances may happen, but
Assuming computers are turning on correctly,
yes,
right?
and other stuff. We can't always be here, but we will try. I also do stream. I try to anyway, like max 3 times a week for myself. Usually early in the mornings. I'm doing a Resident Evil 2 Leon's campaign. Second stream maybe tonight. We'll see. I'm on Twitter under CSCHABAND. It's C Shebang. I post things I like, toys, and other things like that. Whatever. If you follow me, that's cool. Whatever. I don't care. And YouTube, MrPrinceKaboom. I've been uploading my uncut live streams on there, or some of them. And whenever I get a chance, I try to edit stuff and put edited content on there as well. But you know,
Nice.
it's there. It's there. It's cool. And where can they find you, Shawn?
So much like yourself, I'm on Twitch, Zorb Zex. Yeah, I admittedly have not been streaming that much, as I said, for reasons at the start of the podcast. But yeah, I'm hoping to change that very soon. So my next thing I'll be doing is a Hollow Knight, because I got the full 112% in Hollow Knight.
Holy
I am
crap!
the next thing. Yeah, the next thing I will be doing is the Steel Soul run 100%. So
Ooh.
Steel Soul, you die, you're dead.
Oh,
It's a
it's
hardcore run.
hardcore.
You're
Okay.
dead. You dead. You DED dead. That's it. So so my first playthrough was completely blind. This I'm not going to be using blind, obviously, because of I have the experience, I have the knowledge, and now I'm going to be using a guide to kind of see what the easiest path I should be taking to do this. So yeah,
Hmm.
I will be kind of using that a little bit, but it's still up to me that I don't die, right? Because when you start the game, you're basically naked. You don't have any abilities or upgrades, so it kind of just like any Metroidvania, you have to be very careful. And yeah, Hollow Knight again is not supposed to be daddy. It's not supposed to be baby's first Metroidvania. It's supposed to be like you're an experienced player in this genre, so you have to know what you're doing. And yeah, it's going to be very scary, but there's a lot of achievements you can stack. You can actually do the beat the game under 5 hours on this playthrough, and one of the achievements is actually beating the game on Steel Soul mode under a certain amount of time, I believe, and also at 100%. So yeah, I know I can do it. I have the skill. The question is, will I do it the first time? We'll find out. But yeah, that'll be fun. I look forward to anyone who wants to come and watch me. I really much appreciate that. Um, yeah, I have some cool emotes on the channel too. If you like to, check them out, feel free. Also on Twitter, same name, Zorb_Zex. Again, not posting as much as I want to in recent days for the same reason, but I like to post some funny things. I like to post things I find interesting that that most people would find interesting. I think some gaming stuff I like to put on there, some memes, just a variety of things. So I'd love for you to follow me and say hi, and I'll definitely respond back. But that's it for me, Chris. And yeah, I hope all you guys have a great weekend. I'll let you wrap things up.
Yeah, I think we're done. See you guys, I guess, next week. Listen to the podcast on most podcast platforms. I think I've got on most, at least the really important ones. But yeah, uh, whatever. If you like what you like, you can also, maybe join the Discord or whatever. It's there for, as a Discord.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
we
my mind's
no
like
no, you're
Putin on
fine.
me. Just like,
I know. We do, what he's trying to say is we'd love to have you there, and yeah, we're pretty much available on there. You're feel free to join. You can leave some messages, tell us what you think of the podcast. If you have any kind of tell us our strengths, weaknesses, what we can improve on, liking what you see for certain sections, let us know. We're very open, and yeah, we love to chat on you there too if you like to join.
yeah. Sorry about that. I'm so tired. I got like less than 5 hours of sleep, so
No
I'm getting to
worries,
that
man.
point where I'm like, oh. So, and the stream
No
doesn't help.
worries.
But yeah,
Yes.
we're done. We're out of here. Take care, everyone. Goodbye, Shawn.
Goodbye, Chris. Goodbye, guys. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.